Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy SL 550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Before we start, man, make sure you like, share, comment, and also subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live. You hear me? So today, man, I want to get into a few things. So we'll talk about a few different topics today. I wanna play this video that we'll play like half of it. So Jasmine Crockett showed up at this hearing, and we know how she likes to act ghetto and bring up race and every chance she gets. So she kind of gets cooked on the whole race issue. But the real thing that I really want to play it for is to see how this is how Jasmine Crockett really talks. And it's just, it's nothing that real deep. I mean, it's just the fact that she's fake. She's fake, and I don't think she means anything that she ever says. And she's actually doing a disservice to the black community, for real, for real. And then we're going to get into a story with Marco Rubio. Brandon Lehman goes in and talks about Marco Rubio. I think he was on CNN, and they're asking him questions about this whole, Venezuela thing and how the reasons why he did it and the ulterior motives. And Marco Rubio just keeps it real, says the quiet part out loud. And then we're going to end the show. We're going to tap in with Candace Owens a little bit. I didn't watch this video. It's just I haven't been tapping in too much with Candace Owens, but she has been on a blitz with TPUSA, with Turning Point USA, with Ben Shapiro, with Erica Kirk, and she is not letting this go. She has, every time I even tap on her page, every now and again, I'll tap in, and she's on this issue. So, she was talking about something. She was talking about something about that happened at the I think the last event they had, TPUSA. So we'll get into that at the end. So without further ado, man, let's get into this. You hear me?
Jasmine Crockett is an idiot. She's got that wig weave in her head and those barn door eyelashes that make me think she's going to play helicopter if she flaps too rapidly and start moving up in the air a little bit. And frankly, the woman has no common sense.
All right, now, in this video, I got a treat for you. Jasmine Crockett, in a Texas hearing about why the whole redistricting thing wasn't fair and how it's going to negatively impact the voters there in Texas, she met her match in the form of a woman named Katrina Pearson. Now, very briefly, Katrina Pearson, just so you know, she's a member of the Texas State House. Now, typically, Jasmine Crockett gets up and talks loud and talks ghetto, and when anybody else confronts her or challenges her, she gaslights them with this racism. Oh, I'm a black woman and my people oppressed and slavery. And one thing about white people, my wife is white, and so I'm pretty knowledgeable on this. Majority of white people are not racist, and they don't want to be labeled as racist. So when they're in situations, especially publicly, and somebody is threatening, or should I say, labeling them as a racist, in order to avoid that, they typically would just work to avoid the confrontation or be very limited in the things they say or suggest out of fear or concern of being labeled that. But when they run up against somebody that is another black person or a person of color, or if they do run up against that person that doesn't care about the label, they just care about justice and truth, they'll steamroll past that and force her to have to engage in dialogue. And this is where she falls short. Now, I'm going to get off into this clash that these two had. And I say clash, but it was done in a very professional and classy way on Katrina's part. And you also going to hear the shift in Jasmine Crockett's way of speak. You'll actually be able to hear and see that she can maintain self-control and she can speak without acting like she back on the block. So, but Katrina Pearson is somebody you want to remember that name. She is a rising star in the Republican Party. And here's something you need to know about her. She's not just your typical run-of-the-mill state congressional member. She has the full support of our president. Here it is. It says Katrina Lynette Pearson is an American politician and communications consultant. She was the national spokesperson for President Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. She defeated Justin Holland by 56.4% to 43.6% on May the 28th, 2024 in the Republican primary runoff for the Texas House of Representatives 33rd District. Now, the kicker with her is that in that 2024 campaign, when she dethroned the incumbent, the rhinos like Justin Holland and other rhinos in the Texas government worked with Democrats to block this woman. They did everything they could to keep her from winning. Why? Because she is a loyalist to President Trump. She did work with that campaign. Matter of fact, they tried to rope her into January the 6th because she was heading the organization, the rallies like Stop the Steal. She played a huge part in that. And they tried to rope her into that, but she stepped away because she saw that they were attempting to railroad the president and she wasn't with it. So let's get off into, before I show you the clash between these two, look at this ad that's running in Texas for Jasmine Crockett. This is awesome. Check this out.
Texas, what exactly is the Jasmine Crockett way? Is it the way of insulting your own state?
Send them to Texas, they send them to Florida, every deplorable state that we can think about. Blue states are constantly putting red states on life support, yet we got these little red states that ain't contributing nothing.
Is it the way of insulting the people in your state?
Texas has always been found to be intentionally discriminatory. I want y'all to understand the makeup of my state.
Or maybe it's the way of never-ending obsession with race.
I am tired of the white tears. Only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys. We just is like, y'all racist. I can't hang out with the KKK in them. That as a black woman, all I can think about is the slave patrols.
Speaking this way about a woman murdered by an illegal alien.
Not just throwing a random dead person's name on something.
Is it the way of this?
Just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal.
How about this?
They are what make this country great.
Whatever you call this.
Oh no, like the border crisis, it's all the fentanyl and da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Man, because these people, they are crazy.
Is this the way you want to go, Texas?
Y'all about.
Hey, yo, bro. Y'all hear all of this, bro. She said, just because you commit a crime, don't make you a criminal. What the fuck does it make? Hey, yo, bro, you can't make this shit up. But you see the ghetto shit. Just watch how she starts talking in this hearing, bro.
I think that is a great ad. I love it. I'm glad they put it out there. Now, and as you heard in there, you saw her go to her racist grip. That's her pivot. Matter of fact, that's a part of the Democrat playbook. It don't matter if they're white, if they're black, if they're Hispanic. When you disagree, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, you're transphobic, Islamophobic, you're every phobic there is. You know what I mean? Because that is their way, that is their defense mechanism from not having an actual debate or conversation about the actual issue. And you know where that stemmed from? On another video, I'll do it. But the former Colorado governor by the name of Richard Lamb, aka Dick Lamb, he did a speech that he gave at a conference where he said, if he wanted to destroy America, here's what he would do. And when you hear in this what he suggested, and you look at today, you clear as they see, the plan is implemented. And one of the steps in it was whenever someone disagrees, whenever someone is rational and sees what's going on is irrational, you label them. You label them so bad that it keeps other people from wanting to pop up and speak out of fear of the labeling. And think about something. When did this whole labeling thing start?
I'm going to fast forward this a little bit.
Jump on her camera.
Thank you, Chairman. My question is for Congresswoman Crockett. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your thoughts on the map. I hear you, I understand. But you did mention something in your testimony that I think is worth drawing out a little bit on. You mentioned previously the two Anglo seats from before.
Yes.
Who are currently in those seats?
One of them is Lloyd Doggett and the other one is Wesley Hunt.
And does that mean one is a Democrat seat and one is a Republican seat?
Correct.
Okay. So the Democrat seat elected a white man.
Yes.
And the Republican seat elected a black man.
Yes.
Okay. And then so today you're concerned about the new Anglo seats, and the assumption that you're making is that it's going to lead to more Anglo representation.
It is.
Now, isn't it ironic that the Democrat Party that gets up there and screams about racism and white supremacy, actually voted in a white guy for leadership? And on the Republican side, a black guy was voted in for representation.
And they're going to do the same thing in 2028. They're going to have Gavin Newsom be the front runner in 2028. But, the whole racism thing, bro, people over that, bro. People over that. Especially white people, bro. White people like, bro, I just don't care, bro. They've been over it, to be honest with you. They just don't really know how to let it be known. But they've been tired of that shit, bro. But that's all she got. She don't got no policies. She don't got no intelligent thoughts that come through her head. She just think if I ghetto enough, people will vote for me, which is kind of weird, to be honest.
So we're starting this whole thing off just straight up, just putting a nail in her BS about the racism in Texas and how the white man hates the black man. They voted for Wesley Hunt, a black man, a veteran, a former West Point graduate, to be their representative, and the Democrat Party, who screams about bigotry, they actually elected a white guy to be their representative. Nothing wrong with that, but it just goes to show that they're full of it. They use that for ignorant people, and the proof is in the votes. But check it out.
Is because so to be clear, because I may have not been clear, these seats are not about who gets elected. They're about who gets to choose who is elected. And so, my district, while it is an African-American opportunity seat, it is an opportunity for African-Americans.
Hold on. Do you see how she's talking? Just look how she's talking, bro. Like, this is the real Jasmine Crockett. And it's nothing wrong with it, bro. But she gets out there, especially when she gets around certain people, bro. When she get around black folk, bro, she turned into a whole ghetto demon.
To choose their representation. But they don't have to elect a black person. We have a similar seat in Memphis, Tennessee, that historically was always represented by the Ford family. Harold Ford Sr. and Harold Ford Jr. had it, but now it is a white man that is representing that black seat. So it's not about the faces of the seats. It's about who gets to choose who's in the seat. And that doesn't mean that they're going to choose their own race. As you see, 2 Anglo majority seats, one went for a white candidate, one went for a black candidate. It's not about us as candidates. It's about the people that get to do the choosing.
Why would
says the same people who gerrymandered California? Crazy.
argue that based on the testimony that we've heard over the last week or so, it's both. We're hearing racism all over the place. We're hearing, people want to choose people who look like them, which apparently has been happening. And I just wanted to make it clear that, something that has not been said yet is that there are minority Republicans. I mean, there is a Black and Hispanic Republican on the dais. And so I just don't think it's fair to just assume that the Anglo districts are going to lead to more Anglo representation.
And see, this is the thing that Democrats hate the most. And she pointed it out intentionally. There are minority people of color who support the Republican Party. Now, with all the fraud going on, this message is it's been all about race. That's all Jasmine Crockett has used, talking about why the redistricting should not have happened in Texas. Now, though, she said, it's not about race. It's about making sure that the people that are there have the representation to vote who they want. Okay, well, that's already been happening. The fact that a Black man was elected in a representative role in the Republican side, the fact that a white guy was elected on the Democrat side, where regardless of their color, they were who the people wanted, which means that there was representation. And I'm pretty sure that it's Texas. So both of those districts have high Latino populations and some Asian mixed up in there.
All that.
So her whole shtick, her whole thing initially has been all about race. Oh, trying to suppress the Black vote, trying to suppress this. And she called it out, rightfully so. And I wish that the whole country could see this and see just how full of it the whole racist thing is. The fact of the matter is, you and I both know, are there prejudiced people? Because one, we throw around the word racism way too much. The person working at the grocery store that has a problem with somebody that's a different race than them is not a racist. A racist can only be so if they have the ability to impact your ability to work, your livelihood, where you work and where you live. That's a racist. They have the power to allow their prejudice to impact or affect how you work and earn a living and how you live. That is a
Yeah, he put that shit perfectly, bro. And people just over it, bro. It's 2025, bro. I wake up every day. Shout out to Brian Maxwell too. I just wanted to play that real quick because it was like a perfect. Cause I showed a clip before of Jasmine Crockett, but this was like when she like first started out on the scene or whatever. But past couple years you've been seeing her just act, ghetto and all that shit, and twitching her neck and flapping her motherfucking eyelashes and shit. But that was how Jasmine Crockett really talks. How she did in the hearing, respectful. Wasn't snapping her neck, clapping her fingers or whatever the fuck she be doing. She wasn't doing any of that. She was just talking regular, normal, intelligent, and she was making her point, even though it was a dumb point. Still, all in all. Like these people are so fake, bro. They use and like he said, bro. And I've said this plenty of times. That's what they prey on. They prey on ignorance. They prey on their voters to be ignorant. I mean, look at them, bro. We literally just witnessed the biggest ignorance of it all with this whole Venezuela thing. Because while everybody, it's so funny. It's how you know that they don't do an ounce. And I'm not telling people they have to. Nobody, like I said, bro, people don't care about politics, bro. They just don't. They got shit going on, kids, whatever the case may be. Me too. I just happen to talk about the shit. But my point is, I just had my cousin earlier literally just come to me and say, she said, oh, cause look, she had a hat on, and on the side of the hat, it had the 47. So a lot of these hats is rocking the 47. The 47 is Trump. So I said, oh, you fucking with Trump now, huh? So she said, what? No. So I'm like, well, why you got one of the hats on? So I pointed it out to her that she got the 47 on the side of the hat. She like, boy, whatever. She like, oh, what's up with your boy in Venezuela? She don't even know what she talking about. I said, did you even watch, any commentary from any of the people in Venezuela? No. I'm like, all right then. Then you don't know. Like, they're ecstatic. They're happy. So, bro, these people don't care. Or they get out there and they just say anything, and all they hear is Democrats saying, oh, Trump bad, Trump did a bad thing, free Maduro. And now you got all of these mainly white liberals, but you got some black people sprinkled in there and everything. All of these liberal Democrats out there bitching and complaining, talking about free an illegitimate president. He literally lost the election, stayed in power for years at that, for years. He was never supposed to be the president. And, allowing the whole drug narco thing and all that. Like, I'm like, cuz, you don't know what you're talking about. And Venezuelans do not, they don't, it doesn't reflect how you feel. It doesn't. And, she felt stupid. She like, whatever. I don't care. I'm just like, cuz, you just don't be knowing what you're talking about. It's fine. It's okay. I'm not expecting you to be honest with you. Because why? Because they prey on their voters to be ignorant, bro. To not, get the details, bro. You know how many people that I argue with about who shut down the government? When it was just obvious. All they had to do was just a little bit of research and they would have known that it was the Democrats. Simple and plain, bro. But they don't want to do the little bit of research. Anyway, let's get into this next one.
Destroyed this CBS reporter for asking the most idiotic questions imaginable. Marco Rubio is quickly becoming my favorite cabinet member. And not just due to his incredible skill, competence, and cunning, but because he does not tolerate stupidity and humiliates people who pretend to play dumb and peddle propaganda, like you'll see in today's episode. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel, but let's start with Marco Rubio right out of the gate, ending this woman's career.
I'm curious why the Trump administration decided to leave it intact and only arrest Nicolas Maduro and his wife, the person who controls the police, the chief thug. Diosdado
They be
Cabello,
saying
he's the
anything.
interior minister. He's been indicted by the United States. He was in that indictment the administration released. He's a narco terrorist. There's a $25 million price on his head. He's still in place.
Dang.
The defense
25 mil. Hey, yo. And get about 20 of us and go get this nigga. For real. Everybody get a little 1.2 real quick. Dang.
minister who has deep ties to Russia, $15 million price on his head. He is
God
still
going to
in
mission,
place.
y'all.
I'm confused. Are they still wanted by the United States? Why didn't you arrest them if you are taking out the narco-terrorist regime?
You know what's funny? Before Marco goes in, right? Because he's going to cook her, of course. But it's just like this guy shouldn't even have been the president. They had an election. He lost. Why are you even bitching about the fact that Trump did this? You know, and they can't. They know they're wrong, so instead now she's reaching. Oh, well, there's all these other people too. Why didn't you get them? But he's going to cook.
You're confused? I don't know why that's confusing to you.
They're still in
I mean,
power.
it's very simple. You're not going to go in and wrap up. You're going to
Look at her face.
But yeah, but you can't go. You're going to go in and suck up 5 people. They're already complaining about this one operation. Imagine the howls we would have from everybody else if we actually had to go and stay there 4 days to capture 4 other people. We got the top priority. The number one person on the list was the guy who claimed to be the president of the country that he was not, and he was arrested along with his wife, who was also indicted. And that was a pretty sophisticated and frankly complicated operation.
It was.
It is not easy to land helicopters in the middle of the largest military base in the country. The guy lived on a military base. Land within 3 minutes, kick down his door, grab him, put him in handcuffs, read him his rights, put him in a helicopter, and leave the country without losing any American or any American assets. That's not an easy mission. And you're asking me, why didn't we do that in 5 other places at the same time? I mean, that's absurd.
Yo,
Hey,
smash
yo.
the like button if you love that.
Yo.
You're confused?
Yo, he just cooked her like super quickly. Like it's just obvious. Like, come on, bro. Like she even agreed that the mission was complicated. So if you know these missions are complicated, just to go and get this one guy, what makes you think that they're not gonna get these other people? You don't know that. You're just assuming, bro. This is all theater and just politics, and that's all they continue to play, bro. It's good. Yo, these people are crazy.
Confused
bro.
about what? We flawlessly executed one of the most sophisticated military operations in American history, and your question is, why didn't we do 5 more at the same time? That entire interaction encapsulates the left's willful aversion to reality and common sense. It's that same ignorant and unrealistic thinking that allows them to passionately advocate for things like socialism. The left also condemned Maduro, called him illegitimate, and demanded he resign, but they thought elitist finger-wagging and enough Western shame would get the job done by itself. But now that Donald Trump got the job done, their criticisms are he shouldn't have done it at all, or he didn't do enough. Because they're a bunch of whiny, lazy, jealous socialists who have never built anything or created anything of value, they look at a masterfully executed military operation and don't understand the complexity or risk that's involved, and therefore declare from their high horse because we didn't do 5 more simultaneously, the whole thing was a failure. But Rubio does not stop there. He gets back to grilling her on the very next dumb question she asks him.
Because yesterday, President Trump said Maria Corina Machado doesn't have the support or respect within the country. And by your own admission, she walloped Nicolas Maduro in the last election. So it does sound like a decision was made. But
She wasn't on the ballot in the last election.
No, but her party was.
Edmundo was.
Yes.
Correct.
So
yeah. It was an
is there
illegitimate
agreement
election, and that's why he's not a legitimate president.
Right, but is there an agreement to transition to democracy?
I think
it sounds
what
like
the
there's
president
not.
pointed out is the obvious. Well, I think what the point, but there has to be a little realism here, okay? A transition to they've had this regime, they've had this system of Chavismo in place for 15 or 16 years. And everyone's asking why 24 hours after Nicolas Maduro was arrested, there isn't an election scheduled for tomorrow? That's
No, I'm
absurd.
asking what you talked about with her.
These things take time. There's a process.
Right. and you
Well,
are.
I'm not going to publicly get into details about any of those things, other than to tell you that our expectations remain the same, and we are going to judge whoever we're interacting with moving forward by whether or not those conditions are met. Of course, we want to see Venezuela transition to be a place completely different than what it looks like today. But obviously, we don't have the expectation that's going to happen in the next 15 hours. What we do have an expectation is that it move in that direction. We think it's in our national interest and, frankly, in the interest of people of Venezuela.
This host has no idea.
Hey, yo, hold on, bro, because you know what's funny, too? I was thinking about something that my cousin said, because the headlines across the internet and everywhere about this whole Venezuela thing is Trump is only doing this for the oil. But I'm not, pretending to know everything, the ins and outs, but from what I heard from my reliable sources is that America actually had assets with the whole oil industry in Venezuela. And Maduro and them basically stole it or, took over it and took America out of it, type of thing. And under Biden, they put Biden actually put money on Maduro's head. I mean, not on his head, but to get him captured or whatever. But he never did. Now Trump is doing it. They're taking over Venezuela because Venezuela, it got oil. It also has a lot of other resources that's in America's best interest. And China, it was just there, like I believe last week, and they had, they were selling oil to China, to Russia, to basically our adversaries. So Trump said, nah, that's not happening. So he went in there and did what Biden should have did, and now they're mad about it because because Trump is handling business. And you got to think, bro. This guy, his administration is super transparent about everything. But what's funny is when they can't catch none, they want this guy to tell them the in and outs of everything. And they got mad because Trump said, "Listen, we're not going to tell the Congress our plans or none of these people because we got leakers." And it's true. Just think about it. If they would have said, "Hey, we're going in here tomorrow at XYZ time to go through with this mission to get Maduro. We know where he's at, blah, blah, blah." They would have leaked it. Maduro wouldn't have been there. This is a fact, bro. Why we know that? Because the Democrats are against Trump on every single issue, bro. And this one is the best, though, because this is the most blatant that, when you see Venezuelan people like ecstatic, bro. These people were so happy that this happened. Like, I didn't really know too much about Venezuela. I know that it was blowing up narco boats and stuff like that, but I didn't know how deep this went. Like, these people were going through some shit over there. And Trump saved these people. They love Trump for what he did. I'm talking about even people who don't even like Trump are saying, "Democrats, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. I hate Trump, but I do love Trump for what he just did." As simple as that. And it just goes to show you that these Democrats are wrong on every issue, bro. Like everyone. And not too long ago, they were calling this guy Maduro a dictator and an illegitimate president also. Now they're talking about free him.
What she's talking about, and Marco Rubio has to educate her in real time on the things she's trying to lecture him about. Again, just encapsulating the left's smug self-righteousness in the face of being horrendously wrong. They exist in a fairy tale world where supply chains don't matter, the scarcity of resources don't matter, human nature doesn't matter. Everyone is holding hands in a global utopia, dancing around the campfire, while woodland critters are singing and leprechauns are handing out free gold. Because they're not people of action or substance, they're just people of words, they believe the morally righteous course of action is to condemn injustices, not to stop them. And that's why they put so much emphasis and significance into these globalist bodies like the United Nations who do just that. Condemn and criticize and advocate for things left and right, but have no ability to do anything about it. The United Nations is merely a symbolic gesture of goodwill from the United States post-World War II to make all the tiny countries countries around the world feel as if they have a meaningful and significant seat at the table in determining global geopolitical matters, but they don't. And that's how you get absolute clown shows like what happened yesterday, where the United Nations delegate to Somalia, who's currently the president of the Security Council, condemned the United States for what they did in Venezuela. Rich, right? Somalia lecturing us. But I digress. Here's Marco Rubio lecturing the host that this isn't going to be another Middle Eastern forever war. You're dealing with the Monroe Doctrine, baby. This is a whole different ballgame. Take a look.
We have been very clear from the beginning, because I still think that a lot of people analyze everything that happens in foreign policy through the lens of what happened from 2001 to 2015 or 16. The whole, foreign policy apparatus thinks everything is Libya, everything is Iraq, everything is Afghanistan. This is not the Middle East. And our mission here is very different. This is the Western Hemisphere.
That's a good point.
Within the Western Hemisphere, we have a country, potentially a very rich country, that has cozied itself up under the control of this regime, has cozied up to Iran, has cozied up to Hezbollah, has allowed narco trafficking gangs to operate with impunity from their own territory, allows boats with drugs to traffic from their territory, and we are addressing that. And by the way, 9 million people in the largest mass migration event in modern history have left that country since 2014.
But that regime is still in
having
place.
An impact on us. That is what we are addressing now.
When you spoke yesterday,
but we're not just addressing the regime. We are addressing the factors that are a threat to the national interest of the United States.
Does everyone seem to forget that
What are you talking about? Yo, these people, bro, what's wrong with them, bro? I genuinely want to know what's wrong with legacy media, bro. What's wrong with them? Why can't they just say, you know what, bro? I know you're paying me to say this, but that is stupid, and I'm not going to say it. So, and speak truth, bro. These people can't, it's all they know how to do is go, how you go, bro, it's no way that Trump just does everything wrong and everything he says is an abomination to America. Stop, bro. Stop, bro. This guy is beating them. He is, bro, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of the Democrats, bro. On every issue, on everything. Everything, just think about it. Go back in time to Obama, before Obama, Clinton, whatever. All the issues that they claim to care about, that they would fix and that they would handle, like, weeding out the fraud, waste, and abuse within inside of the government. All of these issues, they did nothing about. They let China, they let all of these other countries take advantage of us for years. Now we have President Trump, who is not only stopping all the fraud, waste, and abuse, he's exposing it, showing you receipts. Then he's telling these other countries, listen, we either going to do good business or no business, and I'm going to tax your ass for everything you bring in this country, right? So he's holding other countries accountable on trade. So, and he's bringing money in from these countries. The same way they are bringing in money from businesses here in their countries. You think that China isn't tariffing any goods that's coming from America? Come on, bro. You know what I mean? So it's just, bro, this guy is doing everything the right way. And more importantly, you see Trump every single day, whether he's talking to the media, whether he's having a cabinet meeting, whether he's having a press hearing, whether he's about to get on a helicopter and just giving the media a couple of questions. Even though he calls the media fake news and all of these different things, he is being transparent with them on a daily basis. Daily basis. Even to the point where, he's gave him credit when credit was due. Yo, I really appreciate, you guys for not embarrassing me and asking me stupid shit. You know what I mean? Fed him, things like that, bro. This guy isn't what people think. That's the thing for me, is that 4 years they made Donald Trump out to be this demon, racist, just a straight bigot, right? And even I, at one point, was calling him a racist and things like that, even though it was ignorant, because I really didn't know whether he was. I just seen it on the news. I thought the news reported real news. Then, when I started getting into this and I started really looking into everything with my own lens, it's just not what people think. It's just not, bruh. And this guy is actually doing things to, better America. I think even the people, like, because I disagree with Trump on Israel, right? Which I think a lot of people do in America. I think a lot of people disagree with Trump on the whole Israel issue, right? But outside of that issue, I think a lot of people fuck with Trump. I mean, obviously he got elected president, but a lot of people fuck with Trump for shit that he's doing, bro. And it's like every time you turn around, this guy is doing something. He got his foot on somebody's neck. He's doing something that's better in America. I mean, refund checks about to come up. People about to get a couple extra dollars on top of what they already gonna get. You know what I mean? No time. I'm about to go back to work tomorrow. I was on leave, chilling with the family. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm about to go back to work tomorrow, get some overtime, no tax on the overtime. About to see a little bit more money on the check. I mean, goddamn, the boy working.
JFK almost ended the entire world because the Soviet Union put missiles in Cuba, and the left thinks that Venezuela didn't pose an immediate threat to United States national security by allowing China, Iran, Hezbollah, Russia to operate right in our backyard. Venezuela is only a 30-minute missile strike from Miami. Allowing our biggest foreign adversaries to set up military installations that far away from us is unacceptable. But the American left simply refuses to see it because they are blinded by Trump derangement syndrome. That, and they're motivated by the destruction of the United States, so they probably just welcome it. That's why the left is vociferous defending Maduro and demanding his release, because he's their ideological comrade. He represents what they want to see take place in the United States.
Hey, yo, shout out to, yo, what the fuck did he just say, bro? He had to practice that word, bro. This nigga said ferociously. What the fuck does that mean? I gotta look that one up. I know that took a minute to get out. He said ferociously. I don't know what he just said, bro. That was a nice word, though. I'd never say it, though. That sounds like a tongue twister. Anyway, man, shout out to Brandon Lehman. Make sure y'all go chat in with him, give him a subscribe if you're not subscribed. Also, let's get into this next story with Candace Owens. So Candace Owens been on a serious, just all-out war on Turning Point USA, bro. It's just like, the thing I respect about Candace Owens is she doesn't go with the narrative, bro. I mean, what I'm saying is like, if she has doubt, like, she's looking at everything. Candace Owens is a true journalist, bro. You can say a lot about her or whatever, however you feel, but she's a journalist, bro. And she looks into shit and she gets the, and she has a lot of people thinking, a lot of people actually talking about Erica Kirk and, you know, this whole assassination. Just everybody is seeing it in a different light. I don't think at this point she is pretty much convinced most people that the narrative that was painted isn't the true narrative. So she been going ham. I really don't know. We're gonna react to this. I don't really know exactly what the ins and outs of the whole video, but I know specifically on this part that we're gonna get into is she was talking about them recreating the tent or something like that, where when Charlie Kirk was assassinated and how she felt about it. So let's get into it.
This turning point kind of abomination that the right wing of this country has turned into like a bad reality show. And it's all of the fault of everyone, by the way. It's the fault of everyone speaking and everyone attending, and there's nobody that gets everything about this is weird and uncomfortable for everyone. And I'm not saying she killed her husband or knew about it or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm saying the guy got shot 3 months ago, and she walks out to a pyrotechnic display, and then she goes, "We're going to elect J.D. Vance." It's weird.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm always trying to laugh. Hold up. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. It's not typical behavior of a grieving widow to do some of the things that Erica Kirk has been doing. Let's be honest, bro. If you gotta think, women are way more emotional than men. It's not like Erica Kirk was a fucking Navy SEAL Team 6 or some shit. You know what I mean? She was like a model or something. I forget everything she did, but she was like a pageant chick or something. A model, basically. So just imagine, like, I know if I lose my wife, dog, I'm gonna be crushed, my nigga. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna stop living or whatever the case may be, but it's gonna take me a minute to, like, I mean, I gotta regroup, bro. So I can only imagine women. I've seen this happen in real life to somebody. You know what I mean? I seen this happen to my mother, actually. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know that is like, I mean, it's not a joke, bro. And the fact that it is kind of weird, bro. You know, I don't know Erica Kirk personally. I really don't even feel comfortable kind of dissing her or whatever. But it is kind of weird. You can't lie, bro. It's raising a lot of eyebrows on how this thing is turning out. And it's only been a couple months. Think about it. It's only been a couple months. And, like, she full-fledged in action. Like, she having full-fledged events and everything. Hosting. She had Nicki Minaj on and everything.
That's where her head is at. It's difficult for many people to relate to. It's not relatable for people that talked about how Hollywood isn't relatable and Hollywood is out of touch. This looks a lot like Hollywood to most people. And to go out through a stream of fireworks and sparklers and stand there in a glittering pantsuit and talk about electing J.D. Vance 3 months after your husband was killed, many people feel that there is something off about that. And we're starting to see that political people are the exact same thing as the Hollywood elites that they all love to dunk on.
That's a good point,
and
yo.
We all look at this. This is Megan Thee Stallion twerking at the Kamala rally. This is deeply unsettling to a lot of people. It feels like you're being played. You feel it. It seems off. You feel like this is a coordinated and choreographed spectacle so that you are played. They want your money. That's what they got mad at Candace about. They're like, why are you telling people not to give us money? She's also saying you killed the guy. Why are you mad about the money? They're just mad that they're not getting money.
Hey, yo.
They want your money.
Hey, yeah. Yo, that's a good point. That's a good point. You can't lie, bro. That's a good point. You said she also said you killed the guy, and you're worried about the money. Yeah.
And they want to be celebrities.
Okay, so
that's deep.
That's an honest take. That is just a very honest take, and you can be mad at Tim Dillon. You can be mad at me for playing Tim Dillon on this show, or you can be someone that's concerned about the direction that the Republican Party is taking, and you can recognize that that's the truth, okay? You can keep deluding yourself, and you can keep pretending that this is not how the public received this event. This is not how Republicans are feeling, but you would, again, you'd just be deluding yourself. That's the truest take right there on the internet about how people felt when they watched it. It felt like everything that all of us on our platforms said that gave us the ick about Hollywood when they got up on stage and they mocked people that lived between L.A. and New York City, when they mocked the farmers and the ranchers and people that supported Trump in 2015. That's the vibe that it's getting. It feels like we're being mocked. Now, for clarity, that's just broadly speaking. Like, broadly speaking, it was not relatable to the general public to see a situation where a man is murdered in broad daylight and the company that he built allows the very people who hated that man while he was still alive to simply pay enough money to speak main stage and pretend that they were best buds. There's something about that people just...
You know what she talking about, right? She talking about Ben Shapiro. Yeah, I stopped fucking with Ben too, dog. Because I realized, like, he's a real... Like, listen, bro, I got nothing against anybody with any religion. But Ben Shapiro was saying stuff that was lies. And I'm like, yeah, I can't fuck with him. You know, he's a Jew and all that, but you know, his faith and all of that stuff I respect. But at the end of the day, you still supposed to be an American, dog, and the way you going with Israel and all that stuff, and then you criticizing other people for having different views from you, I can't fuck with it. That's why I kind of fell back from Officer Tatum too, because how hard it's not that they supporting, it's how hard they are going to support it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like going so hard. Like, he made, like, Ben Shapiro, like, made a whole speech, I think it was at Turning Point, if I'm not mistaken, and talked about Candace, like, the whole time. It's weird.
Just can't relate to. Like,
it is weird, though.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro didn't really like Charlie when he was alive, but he gave us $1 million. So he's going to be at AmFest, and he's not only just going to be at AmFest, he's going to walk out right after Erica Kirk opens up AmFest. And we just sort of expect the public to be fine with that. That actually happened. Now, maybe Turning Point USA is not striving for relatability, and that's fine. Money can, in fact, be your motive. But for me, when it moved toward becoming an abomination, the thing that sent me over the edge was when I saw the tent. Okay, I am never going to get over this tent. I could spend a week discussing this tent. I could probably do a month of content describing what it was like for me when I saw the tent and how I felt seeing the tent and what this tent actually now represents. What am I referring to? Let's take a listen to a reporter who was at AmFest describe the scene behind her in the hallway outside of the speaking area. Take a listen.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it.
That is weird, bro. Hold on, bro. I know it was that. Yo, when I first, because I put it on my thumbnail, right? I put it on my thumbnail, but I didn't know that that's what they were doing. I thought it was just like, because, you know, Charlie Kirk did put up the tent and had Prove Me Wrong and all of that stuff. That's like regular, you know what I'm saying? But she actually said that that was a recreation of the day he was assassinated. Why would you want to do that? That is weird, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's weird. That's like outlining chalk on the ground. Like, this is exactly where this. Like, what? Yeah, that is creepy, bro. It's creepy shit, bro. What the fuck is going on?
I can't. I cannot.
That is weird.
I am not capable of whatever that. When I saw this, I realized I do not know enough words. I had to consult a thesaurus, and I still could not land upon the correct adjective to describe how I felt when I saw that tent. People taking selfies under a recreation. I don't know if it's actually the tent. It looks like it's pretty old. Or a tent that Charlie died under. That's what was happening at AmFest. Horrified. I was aghast. I don't think I ever described myself as aghast. I was aghast. It was ghastly to look at.
Hold on. What is that supposed to be, like a reminder or something? That is
that,
crazy,
and
bro.
to realize that they made a conscious decision to allow that to happen. To what end? Okay. I was so gassed. I messaged people inside of Turning Point. I said, I want to know who approved this, because I know what's going to come next. You're going to say, oh, we don't know how it happened, and something fell through the cracks, and so much was going on. And we had no idea the tent that Charlie died on was being brought in as a display. We had no idea that was happening. So I messaged and I said, who did this? Who approved this? I want to know, because I have no authority to fire these people, but I want to pretend like I can fire the people who made this decision, everyone involved. And the answer that I got, you're not going to believe this, or you will believe this, that the person who approved this tent was the amazing Elizabeth McCoy. Potentially more amazing than her husband, Michael McCoy. Elizabeth McCoy was the person who approved this tent. So there's no way that they can come out and pretend like Erica didn't know this was happening, because she's very close with Elizabeth McCoy. Okay, she's very close with her. So for everybody on the outside looking into this, AmFest is when we realized that something very disturbing is happening in America. I feel like AmFest or what it did for me was it contributed to my realization that the future, the dark future that everyone's always predicting, like the AI future, it's here. We're actually here. I think that we are fighting machines. I think that these people are not humans, that they're sentinels that maybe look like humans. That's how I feel. I feel like it's the single solitary event that contributed to my realization that the future is happening right now. And the issue that a lot of these, the gap that's between us and the rest of them is essentially they don't know how to behave like humans. You know what I mean? Like we're fighting an algorithm, a computer code that is presenting as a human being, but actually it can't comprehend real human emotion. And the programmers can't quite write the code specifically enough to emulate real human emotion. And so in response, they're just multiplying the sentinels. Like they're sending more of them to say and do things that are obviously abnormal, that are obviously inhumane. And they're hoping that with enough of them pretending like it's fine, they can override our humanity. Like, well, everyone's saying this is fine, so it has to be fine. Everyone's saying it's fine, so it absolutely is fine. And there's something wrong with you if you don't realize why it's fine that we're hanging up this tent and taking pictures and selfies under it. I don't know. There's something wrong with you. You're just upset.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, in the beginning, I was just playing, like, some of this stuff. It was the stories or whatever. But I fucked with Charlie Kirk. I thought Charlie Kirk was, he had a good niche. He definitely was trying to do something positive. And I fucked with it. You know what I mean? I watch Charlie Kirk's content all the time. And it is crazy, bro. You can't lie, bro. Candace Owens isn't. They want to make her out to be crazy or anti-Semitic and all of that stuff. But let's be honest, bro. We know that's the play. Every single time anybody comes out against anything they dislike that has to do with Jewish people, they're anti-Semitic. When it's like, no, bro. She truly was friends with Charlie Kirk, and we know that to be a fact. And she fucked with Charlie Kirk, and she didn't like the way all of this stuff played out. And Candace Owens has been on the run with this for a while now, ever since. Ever since. I mean, like, she went on a little hiatus after she dropped that, I think it was like a tweet or something where she was saying, like, somebody was after her, like some specific, I think it was, what's the, what's the fucking, the Macrons put a hit out on her or something like that, and then she was for a little bit like laying low, I guess, and then she's been on this whole story, bro, and I don't think she's crazy, bro. I think that she has some valid points. Maybe we'll see some more information come out. Obviously, it's an ongoing investigation, so. But there is a lot of things that they have said, like Erica Kirk saying, like, uh, you know, I forget what she had said, but she had said something in the realm of like, um, stop investigating. And like, bro, somebody just, and then somebody also pointed out, which I really didn't, they made it look noble, like her forgiving her, but like, really think about that. They made it look noble, like, oh, she's forgiven. This is the Jesus way to do things, and she is so great for forgiving her husband's killer. But when on the flip side of it, when you see how other people kind of, nitpick through that, you're like, and it is kind of crazy. We're talking about, because what made it crazy was in the fact that this is not like 2-3 years later. This was like 10 days later. So like, really think about that. Come on, bro. I don't care who you are, how forgiving you are. It's kind of hard to do that. In 10 days, I could see, 6 months, maybe a year, but like, yeah, I mean, 10 days is crazy. So it was just a lot. It's like a lot of little things that's been going on that she's been pointing out, bro. That's just inconsistent, bro. It is wild, man.
Or
Let's end this
something.
up right here.
The result of what's happening right now, and Tim Dillon is about to explain this, and I have a lot of Tim Dillon clips because he just spoke to me when I heard his take on everything. But the result is that right now what's happening in this country and really all over the world is that everything feels weird and wrong. That's why I kept saying last year that everything is fake and gay, it feels like we're watching a movie. It feels like we're all in the Truman Show and everyone around us are actually robots. And things have gotten so abnormal that even things that should be abnormal, like RFK sexting, which is what Tim Dillon's about to describe, feels like that's the most normal thing going on. Take a listen to Tim Dillon.
What a profoundly dysfunctional society we have. There's nothing to look up to. There's no one to be excited about. Really, the least controversial member of this administration is RFK Jr. Can you imagine? He's the least scandal-prone member of the administration. And every 3 days, there's another text leaking from him where he's like, open your mouth. I want to put my seed in you. And that's somehow the best part of this whole thing.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo, he sounds just like... Hey, yo, he sounds just like RFK. Yeah.
His sacks are nowhere near as, scandalous as like Kash Patel, the FBI director, is sitting there updating you on his girlfriend's country music tour. It's hell.
Oh, man.
It's absolutely hell. And Erica Kirk, God bless, tragic, and I'm sorry for what happened, but nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out. She's out there talking to Nicki Minaj. People are confused. What's going on? Those are the three words that sum up this whole entire mess that we've created for ourselves.
Yeah, it is crazy, bro.
He's right. What is going on?
Hey, yo, shout out to Candace Owens, bro. I fuck with Candace Owens heavy, man. She always giving you a new way to look at things, man, because she actually does deep dives on shit, and she actually has sources and people that she's close to. And, like, even though she's actually kind of talking, down on Turning Point USA, she still has people there. Like, she just said that she actually asked somebody who approved that of putting the tent thing up. So yeah, man, shout out to them, bro. Just trying to get to the bottom of it, man. I mean, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm not even like, we come from the hood, bro. Unfortunately, bro, hearing somebody pass away is like, it's not like super regular shit, but it's kind of regular, bro. And it's sad, to be honest with you, that, we grow up that way where, it's unfortunate. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was a little hurt, bro. I ain't gonna lie. When Charlie Kirk got, it was the way. Because it's like, damn, this guy out here doing some great work. I mean, he's not even doing nothing that's like super crazy. Let's be honest, bro. Like, he was talking about regular shit. I mean, just telling men to be men, women to be women, and, don't get an abortion. I mean, there's other options and things. Like, he wasn't saying anything that was like crazy. Like, where you be like, this guy, he's a little loony. He wasn't doing that, bro. He was kind of like, just think about it. He was going to colleges, telling college students that, like, college is kind of a scam, my guy. Like, think about it. Like, I mean, it is. It is. If you're not going to college and really have a pathway to some serious bread when you get out, I mean, bro, that's a couple $100,000. You're in debt, my guy, until you're fucking 40, 45. So it's like he wasn't saying anything that was like crazy, man. And he got killed for it. You know what I mean? So that was like, it was kind of crazy. It was super crazy. I mean, and then the way I had the way it happened. Hey, yo, I just noticed that my thumbnail is like wrong, bro. What's going on? What the hell? Got the wrong thumbnail up, bro. I mean, not the wrong thumbnail, like the name. Oh, that's the way I'll fix that. Anyway, my bad. But yo, bro, I was asleep, because I work overnight. You know what I mean? So I was asleep, and my wife woke me up. She's like, hey, babe, yo, Charlie Kirk just got killed. No, shot. She said shot, my bad. This was before they knew what happened. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, turning point? Charlie Kirk? And she like, yeah. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy, bro. Cause like, it's not like this dude, like, come on. Like, I mean, but I guess for some people, Charlie Kirk was a threat. I mean, because he was telling people to be regular, normal. And we're just, in 2025, shit's getting a little crazy, bro. It's like, you can't even call people gay anymore. I mean, that was like regular, like, vocabulary growing up. Like, bro, you're gay. You know what I mean? Even if it was a joke. You say that now, they ready to cancel you. It's like, bro, what have we come to? Everybody soft. Got my my son's school calling me all the time. Not all the time now, because he kind of tightened up. But like calling me about dumb shit. Oh, your son said that, this girl, sneaks were dirty. Like, what? Don't call me. Leave me alone. Like, I mean, giving everybody trophies for just being there. They didn't do anything. They're making people soft. I mean, when you look at all these liberals out here protesting, bro, you see a bunch of just people that you know, like antisocial whatever. And this is like the only thing that makes them feel alive is to like go out here and protest a bunch of garbage. It's getting, we're in, I ain't gonna lie. When she talked about the Truman Show shit, I was like, I can understand that, bro. Because when people are really programmed, TDS is a real thing. So when you actually know that you see people out on a daily basis and they are like, bro, a woman asked me, I have a beard. I'm a man, bro, I'm a man. She asked me what my gender was. Come on, bro. Come on. Like, we're fucked. Anyway, that's the show for today, man. If you fuck with the show, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help your boy. I'm on the road to 1K subscribers. Stop hitting the subscribe button and then hitting it again. I don't like that. Please don't do it again. Anyway, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live. This your boy SL550. Until next time, I'm out. Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again.